What's up guys? I'm Bind, and today, as you can see, I'm not in the studio. I'm rather outside in the shade. I traveled halfway around the globe again to Taipei city, which is basically my second home. So today we're doing some image hunting. I brought the camera and I plan on going out and taking some reference images which I will later use for a little digital art project painting cityscapes. So first we'll go and take some pictures and then we'll come back and paint some pictures. Now if that sounds good to you, stick around. Now when doing a project, which could be realistically anything from just creating your little own mini-series like I'm doing, to creating art for games or movies in a big studio, the first thing you always need is a topic. Now people oftentimes find it very hard to finish their own personal projects, and that in my experience is most of the time because of a lack of a plan. So those two things go hand in hand, the plan and the topic. For me, in my case, the topic will be this exact city, right? Just in the future, since I love sci-fi, and then give it some cheesy title like T3K or something very old school, I know. So yeah, let's see. The goal of this, which is similarly important to have, of course, is to create a series of 5 to 6 images depicting the city in a way that people can recognize the city, but also leaves room to alter stuff in a matter during painting, of course, that makes the city feel and look more futuristic and more sci-fi. Now that could be little details, or that could be bigger altercations in the architecture or in the way traffic handles stuff like that, right? So for this, of course, we need some real-world reference images, since it is very hard to nail the character of a city without having been there, without having taken some images and get all the intricacies right. There's the signage, there's the way traffic works, architecture, of course, colors, the way the sky blends, with all of the environment, all of that jazz. You need to get some reference for that. So that's what we're doing right now. So let's go downtown. Now guys, let me ramble for a little bit, because I have to try and shoot this thing basically 3 times or something like that, which is outrageous, right? So I'm new to this, so you'll have to cut me some slack, because this whole vlogging, I've never done that, okay? So at first I got the wind, which is always going on here in the city, of course, since this is near the ocean, right? And then there's insanely loud birds and construction, all of that jazz. And then also, I don't want to intrude on people's, daily lives and their privacy, which is why I have to find then a little bit of a calmer environment. Because people here, they are very friendly and they're very forthcoming. So they will not walk through your shot, like no way in hell they will do that. So I have to set up the shot in a way that basically no one gets disturbed and no one feels like they cannot mess with the shot, right? So that's another thing. So this pretty much is the outskirts, the outer rim of the city, back there is where I recorded, and also where I live. This is the neighborhood where I live while I'm here. And then if you go just a few hundred meters outside, you will see stuff like this here. Take a look. Now, in order to do what we're setting out to do today, of course I brought my camera, since I'm kind of a hobbyist photographer anyways, but you realistically don't need that. You just need your smartphone, and that will be enough to get snapshots and the essence of the city, photograph some details, everything that you plan on putting into your images later, right? So basically this is like research. We're going out and trying to find what is interesting and what we can later put in a digital image in a way that it will look appealing, and yeah, also be a variety of stuff, right? What I'm looking for is, I'm looking for buildings, architecture. I'm also looking for transportation, right? There's the metro here, which is pretty interesting, has high lines, all of that, some details like traffic lights, signage, the way the streets work, small alleys. I like the contrast of older buildings, which they have here. It's like not like in Europe, of course, but they have older buildings and then they build part of it anew, renovate, integrate the old with the new, so that is interesting. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. So guys, we arrived in the center of the city. Well, center is debatable because pretty much the center is spread all around. In front of me, which you cannot see but will be in the thumbnail maybe, is Taipei 101, the one, the only, recently climbed by Alex, as you might know, so got some notoriety there. So anyways, the city is buzzing and I got the camera ready here, and as I said before, you do not need a dedicated camera, but if you have one, it might help, because you might have a little optical zoom or yeah, a little color correction going on. All of that stuff might just be a little bit better than your average phone. Now, in case you're wondering why the hassle, why do I need all of this? Do I really need to venture out into the wild myself to get this ref? And the answer to that is no, but what you will get when you venture out yourself, of course, is something much more bespoke, much more special, much more individual, right? Because, and I have this with students a lot, this discussion. If you just go on Google and you search Taipei City, downtown, Taipei 101, guess what? Everybody's doing that. So the first few pages of images, like, everybody has seen those. They're not special, right? So in order to get something special, you have to get it yourself. So the goal is pretty simple. Venture out and yeah, see what stuff looks like, because that's what reference images are all about, right? You want to see what stuff looks like. What does the architecture look like? what do street signs look like, traffic lights, antennas, all the little details and the big details, of course. You want to check that out and of course get the stuff you like and then later mix it into your paintings or into whatever images you're doing. You could be 3D rendering for all we know, right? So it doesn't really matter. If you came across this video not painting, that's fine too, right? If you do any visual arts, it's always good to have your own ref. So guys, all that's left to do here is first get me something to drink, because I was postponing that. There's plenty of opportunities, but I did not seize them, as you would say. So let's venture out, see what photographs, what images we can get, and have a look at them. So guys, hope you like this little adventure. What do you think about the material that we got? I think I got something I can work with in the next few videos. We're going to do some thumbnails. We're going to develop a visual style for these, and then I'm going to show you, as usual, how I render them in Photoshop. So guys, little side note here. If you've been to the city, or you happen to know Taipei City, you might have thought to yourself throughout the footage, wait a minute, how could he capture this all in one day? And of course, I did not do it all in one day. There is footage from all around the city. I've captured this past a few days. So yeah, there's that full disclosure here, but doesn't really matter, because the whole idea here is that you can venture out and do stuff. Doesn't matter whether you're on holiday or not. If you have as much as a phone with you, it's really good to just realize that once in a while, if you see something interesting that could help your art, just take the images, right? And I even got another side note, and that is about the photography and about the skills, because you might look at some of the images and say, okay, these are pretty maybe advanced images in terms of the lighting and the angle and everything, and yeah, I got some experience with that. I'm not by no shot the great photographer, but I do have some practice in this. So if you look at your phone pictures, at your snapshots, and think they're no good, don't worry. Remember, the product is not the photography here. The important thing is not that your images look amazing. The important thing is that you see what you want to see. You captured what you care about, right? The details, the atmosphere, a little bit of the architecture, whatever you want to work with, you need to capture, and it doesn't matter if it's framed perfectly or if the exposure is perfect, right? Most phones will do automatic exposure anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. And then of course there's stuff that I know about or photographers know about, like a white balance and giving it some color tint, some special features. But to start out, you don't need that really. And to be perfectly honest with you, the result later, when we paint the image, it will not have the same white balance, it will not have the same tones anyways. This is just inspiration that I put into the camera that I think looks pretty good, so that I can work with that later. Right guys, that has been pretty much it from me for today here from Taipei City. Let me know what you think about this new format of video that I was trying to do here. Of course guys, first time, go easy on my vlogging skills please. Let me know down below what you think about this. What did I do wrong? What did I not get in focus and all of that jazz, right? And hopefully you liked it, and see you soon in another one. Take care. Waiting for the plane to go by. There is a city airport, so there's that. Once in a while, you just have to wait for it. Any day now. In a project like this, of course, you also need, now there's music starting from the school. It's gotta be recess or something, so yeah, let's wait a little while. The goal of this, which is similarly highly complex, has its own architecture, has its own on foot you will find scenes like these, alright? 没关系, okay, which is kind of hilarious, and it's all my fault because of course in Taipei City you have like thousands of opportunities. Guys, just quickly, take a look at this. Pretty badass, if you ask me.